All right, so hopefully this will work too. Uh, what we got is Ezekiel 30:20, and it came to pass in the 11th year in the first month in the seventh day of the month that the word of the Most High came unto me, saying, Son of man, I have broken the arm of Pharaoh king of Egypt, and lo, it shall not be bound up to be healed, to put a roller to bind it, to make it strong to hold the sword. Therefore, thus says, actually, it's a master. The self-existence, master of the Most High. Behold, I am against Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and will break his arms, the strong, and that which was broken, and I will cause the sword to fall out of his hand, and I will scatter the Egyptians among the nations, and will disperse them through the countries. And I will strengthen the arms of the king of Babylon, and put my sword in his hand. But I will break Pharaoh's arms, and he shall groan before him with the groanings of a deadly wounded man. But I will strengthen the arms of the king of Babylon, and the arms of Pharaoh shall fall down, and they shall know that I am the self-existent, when I shall put my sword into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he shall stretch it out upon the land of Egypt, etc., yada yada. And then we got, so that was the seventh, right? Is that the seventh? Is that what that was? No. 30:20, just to refresh my own memory. The seventh day of the month, so this is the day. Then the sixth was the original Iranian attack, right? So Iran attacks, and now the day afterward, uh, some years ago, okay, this is when God decides to tell Ezekiel, "Fuck you, Egypt." Now keep this in mind. Keep this in mind, okay? Because it says "Fuck you, Egypt," right? And what did fucking Zionist fucking abomination do? Bland. Day before, okay? So this is God saying Netanyahu is Egypt. Just make it plain now. Esther 3:12. Then were the king's scribes called on the 13th day of the first month, and there was written according to all that Haman had commanded unto the king's lieutenants, and to the governors that were over every province, and to the rulers of every people of every province according to the writing thereof, and to every people after their language, in the name of the king Ahasuerus, as it was written and sealed with the king's ring. Now, let's back up, see what this is actually being, what's being sealed here. And blah blah blah. Please the king, destroy, painted of the lamb. Okay, so this is the sealing and go kill. Next verse 13. And the letters were sent by the post in all the king's provinces to destroy, to kill, and cause to perish all Jews, both young and old, little children and women, in one day, even upon the 13th day, the 12th month, which is the month Adar, and to take the spoil of them for prey. Copy of the writing for the commandment to be given in every province was published unto all people, that they should be ready against that day. The posts went out, being hastened by the king's commandment, and the decree was given to Shushan the palace. And the king and Haman sat down to drink, but the city Shushan was perplexed. So interesting there. That would take to be able to get into that, man. That would take shit, man. But the layman's or the most apparent whatchamacallit here is that this is when the decree is to destroy the Jews. Now, what message is the God trying to say here? That Netanyahu does this stupid shit, and God fucking hates him and says, "You're Egypt, motherfucker." Then the Iranians, oh no, Esther. This is the Esther. This is the Great American Eclipse. Now, then Esther is saying, all right, this eclipse happens on the exact day is this verse in Esther, and this is the decree to destroy all the Jews. So, like, come on, is that not perfect? Is that not perfect? That's pretty fucking perfect. Then you get to the Daniel 10. This is the 24th when the counter strike happened on the 19th. So, 20, 21, 22, 23, the fifth day after. And this is verse 4. Right, so in the 420th day of the first month, I was about to start Daniel 10:4. 420 a day the first month, and I was by the side, or as I was by the side of the great river, which is Hiddekel. Then I lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with fine gold of Uphaz. His body also was like the beryl, and his face is the appearance of lightning, and his lips as lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet in color to polished brass, and the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude. And I, Daniel, alone saw the vision, for the men that were with me saw not the vision. But a great quaking fell upon them, so that they fled to hide themselves. Therefore, I was left alone, and saw this great vision, and there remained no strength in me, for my comeliness was turned in me into corruption, and I retained no strength. Yet I heard a voice of his words, and when I heard the voice of his words, then was I in a deep sleep on my face, and my face toward the ground. Behold, so right here. Okay, this is important. This is very, 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 very important. You get this down. I can't believe important, important. Uh, very, very important. Okay, the implications here is he's been on his knees for a while. He's praying. He's praying. He's praying. He runs out of gusto. He falls asleep. Now, there's people around him. So evidently, he normally does this or whatever. Is this in the main room? Fuck this stupid fucking music. Fucking rock and roll bullshit. Fucking fuck that shit. Anyway, so he's on his knees. He ends up falling asleep. These guys are around him. Apparently he does this. Maybe he's in the great room. Maybe he's in a little closet. I don't know. But whatever happens is great quaking happens, and these guys fucking leave. So it's like, whoa, I got the goosebumps, and I was like, what the fuck? And then Daniel was like just breathing and stuff, slumped over, and I had to get Buddy, and we just had to fucking leave because shit was shaking and stuff. It was like maybe this fucking place is possessed. Anyway, we had to go find somebody, tell them why, and then hang out and do something else because we ain't confront that shit. Anyway, so fuck that fucking music. So this is the day, and he's laying down, falls asleep, blam. Then he gets this vision. Everything around him quakes, but they don't. Nobody else sees the vision. Only he sees the vision. So he goes to sleep. He's praying, and he goes to sleep with his face to the ground, on his knees, with his face to the ground. Now, very, very many important things about this, but one of them is physiologically you get in that position and you're gonna help your spine to de-stress. You're gonna help your breathing, your rib cage. You're gonna help a bunch of things. Okay, you're gonna get limber to make sure your joints work and stuff right. And you do this, and I don't know if you've ever. I mean, you need a mat. That's like you need something to put your knees on. And so maybe he had that, maybe he didn't. 'Cause sometimes you don't want anything to put your knees on. Anyway, uh, so that's a very important thing about this. Now, what is he being told? Well, this is Daniel 10, so I don't even need to read the rest of it because I already know Daniel 10 is all about vision of the end times, and he's given a vision. And if you go through and interpreted it, we're talking about World War One, a little bit prior to World War One, but mainly World War One and subsequent events are described in there. And then like you got Mahmoud Abbas, Mahmoud, that's the original dude, right? That's the current dude, the original dude. What's his name? Arafat, right? So Arafat's in there, and then you got Rahi Fatu or Fatu Rahi or whatever, and then only for a few days, and but he's destroyed or whatever, but not in battle, something like this, and he loses, and he's replaced by Mahmoud Abbas, the fucking jack off that nobody fucking gives respect to because everybody knows that he's corrupt, self-serving fuckhead asshole, and so not even no reason. No surprise. The Palestinians don't respect him. Nobody else does. You know what I'm saying? He's just playing his fucking circle jerk position and subsequent events. All right, you get that as a peg point, right? Guaranteed peg point. I did it before. I could do it again. I just need to get back into the World War One history and stuff because it's really convoluted. You got to know a bunch of stuff, right? And so you have to get into it. I got into it for like a month, several weeks, uh, and then it came together that I saw, blam, and could prove everything. It came out with this. This is the point right here. Came out with that. Provable, blam, blam, blam. Most apparent, provable. I could work it back and forth from there. And yeah, because you got a couple of wars in there. Anyway. Point being, this is Daniel 10, and then Daniel 11 is actually part 2 of Daniel 10. And Daniel 11 is when Michael the Archangel stands up and, you know, bunches of super cool stuff. And then, you know, direct. I mean, this is the same message as a 1335, right? So 1335, and then after the 1335 blam on the same day that Daniel is given the vision, actually 5 days prior, right? Fifth day prior or something like that. Then 19th versus the 24th. The 19th is when Iran does the counter strike, sending all these drones and missiles and shit. Okay, and so I would anticipate, not only for myself, but hopefully for the Jewish people, for all the people of the earth, uh, to go through something significant on that day, which I think is like tomorrow, but on that day, 24th of the first month. And so that right there, if something spiritually significant happens, and a bunch of people, it clicks over in their head that, wow, dude, we're actually in the end times and you can prove it. 1335, look at how easy that is to prove. And if that clicks in to, like, I don't know, 100 million people or something, then we'll be going someplace. Anyway, that's that, and I'm moving on.